Hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Carol Mushota, a transformational speaker, writer, blogger, and movable optimist, and I'm here to help you become the best version of yourself in your personal life as well as your business. Today we are looking at education, something that is very, spoken about in our environment, but we always talk about the same kind of things when it comes to education. So today I want us to look at a different angle of the way that you can succeed with education. So this is for you, whether you're a student or you're somebody who's already in corporate and you're contemplating whether you want to go back to school, or if you're just somebody who's asking yourself, do I really need to do the degree? Do I really need to do, the PhD? Do I really need to do this sort of course based on what society has said? I'm very big about transformation and coming out of the norm, especially when it comes to education, because I did not go the conventional way when it comes to education. But at the end of the day, I've still managed to achieve the things that I've wanted to achieve, because there's so many ways and more than one way of you gaining education. One thing that I want to say to you guys is, what is the why? So once you do the degree, once you do the masters, once you do the PhD, once you get all those accolades, what is your why? Are you getting satisfaction? Is it because your parents told you to do what you're doing? Is it because society expects you? Yes, of course, when you start getting your degrees, there's a higher chance of you achieving this, a higher chance of you achieving that. But really, does it come down to your happiness? Are you going to be effective in whatever place that you're going to be in? Because at the end of the day, whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's all about you. Everything that you want to, take out of life comes down to the one thing. When you put your head on the pillow at night, what are the things that you say to yourself? What is this big picture that you have? And what will education do for you? Because you see, you can get up and waste so much money because of, what society expects of you when it comes to education. But when you look at even, somebody like Steve Jobs, and you look at, the net profit, the levels are at. If you look at Richard Branson, you look at Oprah, you look at all these people that have, even Mark Zuckerberg, you see people, achieving certain things to a certain level. And every time they get to that level, whatever it is that they want to achieve, they go back and tell themselves, what is it that I need to be committed to in order for me to achieve? Because when it comes to your net profit from your 7.2 to 4.2 billion, your US dollars, whatever currency, how successful do you see yourself with that educational platform? Because there is no point in you doing education to a certain level or in a certain course if it's not going to be relevant, if it's just a piece of paper for you to just have for the sake of. Because you see, you are putting in your time, you're putting in your resources. These are financial resources. They could be, even just books. I'm an avid lover of traditional reading. But when you look back at the way technology has changed, maybe you're getting yourself a Kindle. Maybe you are, getting yourself onto e-courses. All these things that you're putting in, it shouldn't be about what another person wants. Are you doing the educational, aspect of your life because you want to, not because somebody else said so? In doing everything that we want to, achieve when it comes to education, we need to really ask ourselves, is this going to better the next generation? Is this going to help my community? Is this going to help my country? Is this going to help my region? Because if you're just going to do things for fame, then what is the point? Zig Ziglar said this: in order to be great, you have to get started. He spoke about getting started, and I always talk to people about getting started, because you don't have to be great. Those were his words, and it comes from that space where it's about getting started. It's not so much about the greatness. The greatness in education, you'll be standing up on a podium and everyone will be announcing your accolades and everything. But what is the point of me doing engineering when I'm right here talking to you guys in front of a camera? When everything that I do is about coaching, when everything that I do is about lifestyle, when everything that I do stems down to mentorship and, understanding what moves people's minds. Because education is relevant for that period. The minute you come out and get your degree, you get that piece of paper. Do you know that you have to build on it? This is why they say it's syllabus this and syllabus that, because it was for that period. So if you're not constantly being committed, you're not constantly, developing yourself on a personal level, you're going to find that you are version, 7 when we're on version 12. So what are the things that you're doing to add to whatever it is that you have become? Because you can well and good have that title, and you have no logical reason when it comes to sitting down and understanding maybe, something that requires empathy, because everything about you, that requires logic, because everything about you is empathetic. So you need to know at this point in time, what does my educational level achieve? If you're going to make your parents, or rather if your parents are going to make you go into a course that is going to be a waste of money, maybe it's even a 4-year course, and deep down inside of you what makes you tick. When you know that deep down inside of you, it's really about that course that you want to do and not so much about what someone is willing to pay for you. Because you see, the thing with life is, if we see you driven, if we see you passionate about what it is that you want to achieve, we have no choice but to run with you. But if you're also going to be wayward and you move from left to right and we don't know what is that you want to achieve, we're going to be like, you know what, maybe we know better because we're seeing it from the outside. Because everything stems down to, who are you? What is your purpose in life? What is it that you are meant to achieve? Those are the things that we always constantly have to be thinking about. Because so many times we rely on what other people think of us. So many times we rely on what place in society we have. But do you know that when everyone gets to their home and they sit down in their bed, they are literally thinking about themselves? So what role are you playing in that time? Because the crucial decision making comes in at a time when you're in solitude. You can't make, decisions with noise around you. So you need to ask yourself, what is your WHY? What is your why for wanting to achieve a certain level of educational status? Is it that you're going to be taken to, a certain level in your organization or in your life? Is it that you're going to be, getting more money? Is the ultimate goal the amount of money or what you can do with that amount of money? Because everything comes down to what comes out of that web. What comes out of it? You've got this spider in the middle, but once it makes that web, what next? What are you trapping in your web? What is it that you're preventing yourself of with that web? Are you trying to break out, maybe a generational limitation? Maybe people in your background don't achieve higher than maybe grade 5, or maybe they don't achieve higher than, A levels, or maybe they don't achieve higher than, manager level in life, or maybe they all just become, supervisors or something, or maybe it's just about you. But the key thing is, if you have set out a path, if you know that this is what you want to achieve, the steps that you then need to take is about you having order. If you know that whatever it is that you need to achieve for you to get that level requires you to be, maybe cut down on TV, maybe you need to change your circle, maybe you need to, change where you go, maybe you need to change the things that you've been wanting to, to buy, maybe you need to sacrifice to get that manual, maybe, it costs like maybe $100 or something, and maybe that's the amount that you also need to get that other thing. It's all about priorities. What are you putting in place in order for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve? Because education on its own is meaningless if it cannot be applied. Education on its own is meaningless if it's just about titles. Education on its own is meaningless if it doesn't create this environment for you to escape, to be innovative, to be this person that goes higher. If we're just going to say from the minute you have your education, you then get a job, you then, get paid from that salary, and then you start your life, then we are not achieving anything. So let's consider, what are the benefits or what are the disadvantages of you even achieving certain things? Will it cut away from your purpose, which you're already working in? Because if you come and find that you're already in your purpose and you just want to achieve education level for the sake of Mr. Daka or Mr. whoever who said that this is what you want to achieve, what then happens to your purpose? Are you then not staggering it? If you've already worked in it, if you know that you're good with technology, if you know that you're good with this and this, and then someone tells you, no, go and start learning marketing or whatever it is, you have to ask yourself, am I able to marry the two? If you cannot marry the two, start asking yourself, what next? So you really need to understand that everything in life is about being intentional. Everything in life is about being purposeful. Everything in life is about you knowing what are my non-negotiables in life. It's not about looking smart. It's not about dressing smart. It's not about having reading glasses or having a laptop. No, it's about you understanding what is it that this educational, achievement will do for me. And sometimes with life, if you don't know what it is that you want to achieve, you will be given things like even a scholarship on a silver platter. And if you don't know your purpose, you will end up going on a different tangent and achieving the things that you're not supposed to achieve, whilst crippling what it is that you are meant for, because everybody in this society has got something to offer and only you can offer it in that way. So I hope that today's episode has been helpful to somebody out there, that they're going to sit down and introspect and reflect and start asking themselves, what is the main purpose for the things that they want to achieve when it comes to the education? So don't forget to follow me on social media so I can get feedback from you guys. I would love to hear from you. As always, it's Carol Mushota TT on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until the next episode, it's goodbye.